There is a reason for that, I promise. Stand by this faith. Work for it. Sacrifice for it. There is nothing in all the world so important as to be loyal to this faith, which has placed before us the loftiest ideals, which has comforted us in sorrow, strengthened us for noble duty, and made the world beautiful. So wrote the Universalist minister Olympia Brown back in 1920. Well, my beloved Unitarian community, what a privilege to be able to share what is in my heart this evening. And what I have to offer, I offer with love for our movement, for our people, though I pray, if ever I had the capacity to inspire some and cause discomfort in others, that those gifts return tonight in equal measure. Is there anything left, I wonder, of that rather annoying young minister from 20-something years ago? Let us find out. Can you remember the very moment when you could say, yes, I am a Unitarian? Some of you can. And you made a commitment of whatever sort to this faith of ours. Well, I can remember. I committed myself to Unitarianism around the same time as the film Moulin Rouge came out. Hence the clip. Unitarianism and I had been sort of dating for a while and flirting quite a bit. But there came a moment we entered into a committed relationship. And I somehow knew, even back then, it was a lifelong commitment I was making. And although there have been some ups and downs, as in any relationship, Unitarianism and I are still together. And still very much in love after all these years. And when I say Unitarianism, I mean our faith, our communities, our people. I love us, for better, for worse, to love and to cherish, in sickness and in health. And there has been more better than worse. In the film Moulin Rouge, the young idealist writer Christian is also searching for true love. In fact, nothing less than love will do for him. He meets the performer Satine and falls instantly in love with her. Yet despite seeming so vibrant and full of life, Satine is already dying. When I joined Unitarianism, I found this amazing, affirming, transforming faith. I'd been bruised by previous religious experiences, yet I still craved a space to contend with life's big questions, a way to connect with my spirituality and a community with which to do it. And within our faith, I found a way of being religious and a community to share the journey with. It was the thing my soul had been searching for. And in a very real way, it saved me. Maybe it did the same for some of you. I went to my first GA annual meetings, and I was awestruck by the vibrancy, the number of congregations, societies, panels, and commissions as we then had. It seemed amazing to me. I was inspired, I caught the vision, and I was happy to commit myself to this faith of ours. But like Christian in the film who finds true love, I then got a shock. I began to hear whispers. It's dying. We're dying. And the whispers would not go away. And like most people who hears bad news, I went into denial. How could something which seemed so vibrant possibly be dying? Particularly as what we offer is the very thing so much of the world seems to be crying out for. It seemed cruel. I had found the thing I'd been searching for, only to be told it was in terminal decline. So I just didn't believe it. Yet, the dreaded quota numbers continued to fall. And even I couldn't ignore the number of congregations closing down. Could it possibly be true? Had I found the spiritual love of my life only to have to watch it endure a slow and painful death? In the film, Christian and Satine make the most of their time together and reflect that they will love each other come what may. And I became a Unitarian minister in part because I wanted to be part of the come what may, and because I believed that our extinction was not inevitable. And just to be clear, I don't believe we should exist because of our great history, although that is important, or because we love Unitarianism, although we do. The reason I still want us to be here, and indeed to thrive, is because of Unitarians yet to be. People who need us, who need our faith, our unique form of spirituality, for whom it could be life-transforming or even life-saving. We owe it to them, surely, those who are out there already searching for a liberal religious community, and those who don't even yet know what a difference it could make. We owe it to them for there to be well-led congregations and communities there for them to find. One of the reasons I left congregational ministry and went to work for Unitarian College was because of my conviction that we must have Unitarian ministers. And we need to equip our lay leaders. Now, I've heard it said on a few occasions recently, we don't know why you're training all those ministers, they're not going to be needed. Well, I disagree. We need Unitarian ministers and leaders now more than we ever have, not just to lead our congregations to growth, but to start some new ones and to minister to this bruised and hurting world. Thank God for the new ministers that we've welcomed today. And for those who are in training right now, thank God for those lay people who've been on our courses. Thank God for the congregations and districts who've supported them financially to do so. Thank God for the Women's League who are raising money for the Students' Fund this year. By doing all of that, you're showing that you believe our faith does have a future. And that's why I do what I do, because I still believe it does have a future. And I know that you do. That's why you're here, even if we might disagree on the way that that should be done. Ironically, one thing I learned early on, Unitarians are good at funerals. And I don't say it completely flippantly. We are renowned for the way we conduct rite of passage ceremonies. And a big part of my own ministry was caring for the bereaved and officiating at funerals. We're excellent at it. We know how to help people say goodbye. And I've also noticed that we're quite good at holding funerals for ourselves at times. When we close congregations or other groups, we're ready, the Constitution, the other documents are in place, the assets can be distributed as it should be. That is good governance. And when it comes to the event itself, I've seen it reported, it was packed for the closing service. We gave it a good send-off, which is important. If something really is dead, then a good funeral is helpful and healing. But I say lovingly, I can't help wondering if sometimes we held the funeral just a bit too early. We believed nothing could be done. Death was inevitable when perhaps there was still a chance. But we busied ourselves with planning the funeral, understandably so, because when you're faced with something so painful, you like to keep busy. Yet I'm not comfortable, even now, accepting our demise is certain. It frustrates me, I admit. At times, we seem to go around believing that we're already dead, like the man in the story Linda shared with us, when we still have so much to offer. And I've seen some of our congregations turn around when they were at the point of closure. I've seen groups of Unitarians take the bold step of appointing ministers and lay leaders or having a student with them on placement. They've taken a chance and it changed everything. And why the hell should we just fade gently away? As Dylan Thomas famously wrote, do not go gentle into that good night. Rage, rage against the dying of the light. Well, our chalice light may be dimming and flickering in places. It doesn't mean that death is sure. It just tells us that change is needed. In our biblical reading, we saw Jesus of Nazareth arriving at a house to find a funeral in full swing. In fact, the text implies that these were professional funeral organizers. They knew how to put on a good show. Yet in their rush to hold the funeral, they missed a vital detail, which Jesus spotted. She is not dead, but sleeping. And I can understand we're tired. It feels like we've tried everything there is to try, and multiple times. There's fewer of us to do the work, and the work itself can be exhausting. Having a sleep seems inviting. But we're not dead yet. And Jesus says to the young woman, "Get up, wake up," and directs those nearby to provide food. Where there is still life, feed it. Invest in it. Find the energy, the passion. Take risks. Rage against the dying of the light. Well, it was Easter Sunday, wasn't it? Last Sunday. For years, I have preached Easter Sunday sermons, and like many Unitarians, skirted around the issue of the resurrection. It's said that Unitarians don't really believe in the resurrection, or if they do, only in a spiritual or metaphorical sense. So it seems to me, if we're not that sure about resurrection, better not to die in the first place. So, my beloved Unitarian community, I beg of us, wake up. Wake up and feed where there is energy and ideas. Wake up and wherever possible, invest in leadership for our congregations and to minister to the world. Wake up, getting beyond the squabbles and the power plays and the internal politics which can so easily stifle our congregations and our wider movement. Wake up and give our communities permission to grow. It might not be exactly the same Unitarianism we loved, but it would be selfish to say it cannot change just because we might not like it so much. Wake up, even if that means some of us have to stand aside a little to let fresh ideas come forth. I think people still need our liberal, life-transforming faith. I was able to prove in my own ministry to a degree, and so have many of my colleagues, that Unitarian growth is possible. It is hard work. And we do have some recent evidence with our newest ministers showing that in general, our congregations are more likely to thrive and grow where there is a trained Unitarian minister or trained Unitarian layperson in post. Oh, but Aunt, we'd love to do that, but we've tried it and it didn't work. And we've limited resources, especially when it comes to appointing and paying someone. And there aren't any easy answers. But one thing is sure: we can't take it with us if we die. As the old saying goes, there are no pockets in shrouds. Do not go gentle into that good night. Rage. Rage against the dying of the light. The book of Revelation, the book supposed to speak about the end of things, gives a bit of advice. Wake up and strengthen what remains. Wake up, strengthen what remains, and move forward. Don't let's hold funerals too early. Not whilst there's still a discernible pulse. Instead, we have to find new ways of being Unitarian and sharing the message. We have to find ways for our congregations, our districts, and wider movement to work together and resource together like never before. In our biblical story I referenced earlier, the young woman got up, was given something to eat, and the text says, and her spirit returned to her, which is what I'm praying for us, that our spirit will return, that we'll find the passion, the boldness, the energy that was once such a feature of our faith, the spirit which inspired our forebears, without whom there would have been no Unitarianism to pass down to us. Wake up. Let the Spirit return. Whatever your belief about God, still many of us love singing, don't we? Spirit of life, come to me. Do we really mean it? Spirit of life, come to me. If so, that should be our prayer. For it is needed now more than ever, waking us up, energizing us. Unitarians may be good at funerals, but it's not all we're good at. Let it be said that we were good at life too. That we were good at sharing the message and even growing. Often we say almost proudly, and I don't know why, Unitarians don't proselytize. But when you've got something so amazing, surely it becomes a duty to share the blessing. And you can tell everybody that this is our song. Not just can tell everybody. We must tell people. For ours is a song worth singing and sharing. A song of faith. A song of freedom, and our various beliefs and diversities create harmonies not found anywhere else. My friends, as I finish, I really have nearly finished. Let me say once again, just in case I haven't said it enough, I love us. I love you, my Unitarian community. I've cherished sharing the journey with you. I can honestly say how wonderful life is because you're in my world. But let's love Unitarians yet to be and do all we can to make their path into our faith as accessible as possible. We owe it to them to wake up, for life is calling us on. My time is up, and I pray I've used the time well. This opportunity won't come again, nor should it, because I'm interested in the ones who are following me, the next prophetic voices, the future of our movement. But for now, life does call us on, which sounds a bit like a cue for a song, and indeed it is. I'm going to ask Peter and the choir to help me as we sing the first verse of this hymn. Any of you who already know it can sing that first verse while still sitting down. And then after we've sung that first verse, I'll invite you all to rise, and we'll sing the whole thing through, right from verse 1 again. By the end, I hope we're raising the roof, and we'll sing the last line of the last verse a few times. Thanks, Peter. Thanks, Jen.
These words now by Michael Schuler. If you are proud of this church, become its advocate. If you are concerned for its future, share its message. If its values resonate deep within you, give it a measure of your devotion. This church cannot survive without your faith, your confidence, your enthusiasm. Its destiny, the larger hope, rests in your hands. I'm going to invite you onto your feet once again as you're able. Only a small break for you this evening to sing our final hymn, To You Each, My Friends, Tonight. As we bring our anniversary service to its close now with these simple words of a well-known and much-loved Irish blessing. May the road rise up to meet you. May the wind be ever at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your face. The rains fall soft upon your fields. And until we meet again, may God hold you in the palm of her hand. Amen.